Control. What I often used to hear the most and what I hear now is nobody controls me, tells me what to do. But you can't even see the dog leash on you because of reasons such as freedom of speech, challenges, an examination of what today threats to freedom of speech and expression and the erasure of Black history is and does, and what's happening now. But first, we must understand the article of freedom of expression, which basically I'm talking about freedom of speech. And it's usually found in constitutions and human rights declarations around the world, such as the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It guarantees every individual the right to express opinions, ideas, information freely without fear of government censure or retribution. This principle behind freedom of speech is that open discourse is essential for democracy, if we have one, personal autonomy, and societal progress. The core elements of this freedom of speech, Article 1, include the right to speak, communicate ideas publicly and privately, protection from government interference or punishment for expressing opinions, the ability to access information, participate in public debate, safeguards against prior restraint, censorship, or suppression of dissenting voices, modern challenges to freedom of speech. Despite its foundational role in democratic societies, freedom of speech faces significant challenges and limitations in today's world. Several factors contribute to the denial or restriction of this right for citizens. Government censure. In some countries, government actively censor media, block websites, punish dissenters, laws targeting hate speech, national security, fake news are sometimes used as pretext to silence critics, journalists, activists. Even in democracies, certain speech may be restricted under broad or vaguely defined regulations. And right now, we're going to get to something that we need to talk about. Social media regulation and deplatforming. Online platforms have become primary venues for public discourse. However, social media companies may remove content or ban users for violating their terms of service. While intended to curb harmful behavior, these actions sometimes result in the suppression of legitimate political or social commentary, especially when moderation practices lack transparency. Cancel culture and social pressure. Cancel culture refers to collective efforts to ostracize individuals or groups for expressing unpopular or controversial viewpoints. While not always enforced by law, intense social backlash can lead to job loss, political or public shaming, and self-censorship, effectively discouraging open discussion. Now, before I get to the surveillance and other chilling effects, we need to go back to where we are right now. You see, this is where we are right now, and I actually came on to TikTok and YouTube thinking that I can get away from the news, media, and their narratives, and we can have open discourse here. But what a lot of platforms may be ignorant to, but I think they know about it, is the people that actually make decisions about the content may be biased about the content that they let in. And you are not supervising your people the way that you're supposed to. So therefore, they can get a grudge against some people. And I can tell you, somebody at TikTok or YouTube loves the hell out of me, because there's nowhere in the world I could seem to even get nowhere close to 500 subscribers or anything else. It keeps dropping and does all kind of things. And then you tell me I have hate speech when I'm not doing half of the things that some people are doing, you know. In fact, the only thing I'm doing is telling you the truth, which you do not want to hear. See, dissenting voices, especially that come in a dark color like myself, are not popular. And so as many of my sisters and brothers on the platform that's not talking about this. But this happens in government too. You see, we have a problem, and we've always had a problem, of people trying to control the narrative, but talking about we're in a democracy. Talking and acting are two different things. And we're not speaking about it makes it even worse. But let me tell you what else they do when they get wind of somebody. I don't have enough power for them to pay attention to me. You understand? But I'm just letting you know that I see what is happening on YouTube, TikTok, okay, with certain members or certain people with certain content, you know? And, you know, if you want your platform back the way that you want it, you know, lily white, or you know, certain things that fit your narrative, then go ahead and just tell me. Tell her. You know, tell me you're not welcome. But this underhanded, behind the back stuff, you don't want to give no kind of decisions on any kind of appeals when you appeal something that really is unappealable. You just did it because you didn't want to hear it. Okay? And this is not what they meant by freedom of speech. One person does not determine what is freedom of speech. One platform does not determine that. It's us. But us is not opening the damn mouth. We need bulls. We need military leaders. We need people who will speak. Surveillance and chilling effects. Increased surveillance by governments or private entities can create a chilling effect where individuals refrain from speaking due to fear of monitoring or repercussions. This undermines the sense of safety necessary for robust debate and dissent. Restrictions on academic and artistic expression in some societies, universities, schools, cultural institutions may restrict speech by banning certain topics of works deemed offensive or politically sensitive. This limits intellectual exploration and artistic creativity. Legal actions and strategic laws. Strategic lawsuits against public participation are used by powerful individuals to intimidate, and we know this already because this happened to the Black society all since I've been a part of it. The deletion and control of Black history is another. One of the gravest threats to freedom of speech in today's society is the deliberate deletion, distortion, and marginalization of Black history. Efforts to erase, rewrite, or limit discussion of Black experiences, whether through educational policy, media framing, or omission of historical events from public discourse, represent a direct denial of the right to communicate, learn, and teach essential truths. This erasure is perpetuated not only by censorship, but also by the controlling narrative, shaping those stories that are told, and how, when textbooks and curricula exclude the realities of slavery, civil rights struggles, Black achievements, and so forth. Such actions diminish public understanding, perpetuate harmful stereotypes, undermine the ability of Black communities. They restrict and manipulate Black history, and we know this is true.